Some rumors have been confirmed with the announcement that Brandon Sheppard will be joining Rocket1 Racing in the 2025 season, and Tim McCreadie will be joining Boom Briggs. But what is interesting is there will be an alliance between Boom Briggs and Rocket1 Racing. Wrote this up over at stockcarreport.com. You can find the link in the description below. Sheppard, fresh off his 2024 World of Outlaws Case Construction Late Model Championship, announced he will be the driver of the Rocket1 Racing Super Late Model team for 2025. He is returning to that car and that team. He posted this on social media. He says, "I am thrilled to share that I will be returning to the driver's seat of the Rocket1 Racing Super Late Model team. Looking back, my journey with Rocket1 Racing has been nothing short of spectacular. Together, we've celebrated numerous victories and championships, and I can't wait to team up once again to create more unforgettable moments. The past 2 years have been incredibly educational for me. I'm more focused than ever as we look forward to the 2025 season. I'm also pleased to announce that Mark Richards and Steve Baker are dedicated to ensuring that our family-owned B5 will continue racing with a limited schedule next year. Our first race in the family-owned B5 will be at the Gateway Dirt Nationals, followed by the Wild West Shootout in Ovado, New Mexico." Sheppard then announced that James McGee and Lucas LeBlanc will remain part of the crew for the B5, the 5S, as well as potentially the A5 and J5, as his children Addison and Jace move into quarter midget racing. He closed out his post noting he will be practicing at Golden Isle Speedway on November 13th, and he will be competing with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series for the 2025 season. If you want to read the full post, it is here in the article, which, as I said, you can find in the link in the description below. So in a press release, we got some more information. Rocket1 Racing co-owner Mark Richards said this: "Rocket1 Racing is going through another change for the 2025 season. We'll have Brandon Sheppard back at the wheel. He spent several years with us, and we enjoyed a very successful tenure together. The team is excited. Our sponsors are excited, and we know the sky's the limit for what we can accomplish in 2025. In fact, all our sponsors from this season are returning for next year, and we'll also be announcing some new ones soon." With Sheppard coming aboard Rocket1 Racing, that means Tim McCreadie is out of that ride. However, he will be joining Briggs Transport Racing, which has formed an alliance with Rocket1 Racing. Richards commented on McCreadie's importance to Rocket1 Racing, saying, "Tim took on a tall task this year, joining our team after the year started, and he did a great job for us. We're very grateful for his hard work, and as he moves over to Briggs Transport Racing, he'll continue to be an important part of the growth and development we have in motion here at Rocket Chassis. In fact, Rocket1 Racing will work in alliance with Briggs Racing Transport throughout the 2025 campaign." We did get some comments from McCreadie as well. This is what he said: "After joining Rocket1 Racing in March, we fought an uphill battle all year, but nobody with the team ever gave up, and we clawed our way into Championship 4 with Lucas Oil. Absolutely nothing to hang our heads about here." Yeah, they got that big win down there in Arkansas. I think it was in Arkansas with the Topless 100. Some really good runner-ups. I mean, they really had a good, strong finish to the year. They finally seemed to find some chemistry and really were a threat out there to win pretty much every night that they showed up. Boom Briggs and everyone with his team are providing me with an opportunity to continue doing what I love. We've got a lot of preparation to do for 2025, and we're already hard at work with that. Like Sheppard, McCreadie will also be competing in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series with Briggs Transport Racing. Of note, Boom Briggs revealed that he will only be running a part-time schedule in 2025. He said this: "Me and Tim have been really good friends for over 20 years. Due to my business obligations and him out of a ride, we decided to put this deal together with the support and assistance of Mark Richards. I'm going to still run a limited schedule next year, but our focus sits with giving Tim his best chance to go after another Lucas Oil title and a really successful year. We're still looking to find a few sponsors to up our arsenal a bit, but we are full speed ahead for 2025. So I think this definitely shakes up what we are going to see in 2025 with Lucas Oil, and I think with dirt late models in general. I think Sheppard returning back to Rocket1 is a game changer, just like Overton joining Longhorn. I think there are, at least half a dozen guys that can go out there and win on any night, maybe even more, especially if we see what happens with Wells and if they decide to go national. Obviously, you've got Bobby Pierce, you've got Ricky Thornton Jr. over there at Kohler. You've got Hudson O'Neal at SSI, although I think they've been struggling a little bit recently. We'll see what happens moving forward with them in 2025. Devin Moran, don't count him out. I think those guys are going to be really tough as well. Obviously, he's been a threat these last couple of years in the Lucas Oil Series. Then I think McCreadie will still do well with Briggs. I thought he did really well at Paler. I think you're going to see some of these younger guys do really well too. I think Drake Troutman is ready for a breakout. Don't count out Garrett Alberson. Dalton Wilson is really strong. I mean, there's so many guys that can win. It's so competitive. I mean, we are almost in like a new golden age of dirt late model racing because there's so much talent. There's so many good teams. There's so many good cars. And it's just going to be really tough to win. And I think it just goes to show just how good Bobby Pierce and Ricky Thornton Jr. have been because they've had such dominant seasons the past couple of years with this stout competition. But I think it's just going to get even better as these teams are making these moves to try and compete with the Bobby Pierces, with the Ricky Thornton Juniors out there. So people will definitely be hunting them, and they're going to have to continue to have that drive, have that desire. And it doesn't look like that's going away anytime soon. Obviously, with what's happening with Ricky Thornton Jr. and everything with Chris Madden at the World Finals, he clearly still has that drive. And obviously that comes out with those arguments, those confrontations. And then Bobby Pierce obviously has a fire lit under him as well with everything that happened at the beginning of the year last year. And I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder as well moving into next year because he didn't win. He didn't get that World of Outlaws championship. And I think that that is something that is going to motivate him moving forward. So I think we're going to get a fantastic 2025 next year. I mean, I didn't even talk about Mike Marlar. He made a huge run at the end of the year here. Has been super competitive. And I love that Winfield Warrior. I mean, that smile on him, he just brings joy. He brings joy to the sport. Even when he may be on the wrong side of a deal, he's out there smiling, giving an interview. How can you not love that? But I think we're going to be in for a really, really fun season next year. It's going to be hyper competitive. And I think we're going to get to see some fantastic racing. But this year isn't over. We still got we still have a couple of races on the schedule. Obviously, Sonoya is this upcoming weekend. And then the Gateway Dirt Nationals are always a fun time. I know there's some debate on whether or not that's a crown jewel. I think it's a crown jewel. Just look at the number of cars that are showing up to that every single year now. I think it might have the biggest car count out there, maybe aside from Eldora, the Dream, and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to the Dome. It's definitely a race I look forward to every single year. But let me know what you guys make of Brandon Sheppard joining Rocket1 Racing and Tim McCreadie teaming up with Boom Briggs and forming an alliance with Rocket1 Racing. And what are your expectations for Rocket1 next year with Sheppard behind the wheel? And what do you think Tim McCreadie is going to do with Boom Briggs? Let me know in the comments below.